have discussed about what is dictionary and what are the built-in functions we can apply on dictionary, and we discussed the methods also. Actually, few methods are only discussed in the textbook. I have discussed beyond the scope of the textbook also. Today we are going to discuss the programs within the scope of the textbook. I am not going to do anything beyond the textbook. Right. Now, I think you are all able to see the very first line. Now today we are going to see first how to iterate the items in the dictionary, or how to visualize the key value pair in the dictionary. Right, look at the first line, loops and dictionaries. This is the first method. The number 1 is the first method. My dictionary I have created. So there are four key value pairs, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 that you would have seen. And look at the loop. For loop we have used. For key in my dictionary. Key means it refers to the every key. We are iterating the items of the my dictionary with respect to the key. So for every key in the dictionary, we are going to print the key value as well as the value of that key. So how can you access the value of the key? Suppose I want to print this ONE, TW, THREE. How can I access that? First, I have to tell the name of the dictionary along with the key value. So this is the print statement we have used here. Okay, now I'll execute only this and show the output. I think I have to share the output screen also. So once again, you go through, we have created a my dictionary. The first one is nothing but a dictionary is created. In the previous session itself, we discussed the different methods of creating the dictionary. And the second and the third line is just running the loop to iterate among the items of the dictionary. Here we are iterating with respect to key. Key by key, we are accessing the elements of the dictionary. First, we are going to read the key 1 and its corresponding value, then 2 and its corresponding value, 3 and then corresponding value, and so on. So for every key in the dictionary, we are going to print two values. One is a key and the other one is corresponding value. This is the method to access the value. Okay, now I'll just execute this. Are you able to see the output screen now? Please leave this output. This is some other programs also, because I have more than one program. You just see only the first 4 lines. Pair of the dictionary.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We can see the output now. Now let me get back to the idle once again. Now you see the second method. In the second method also, we are trying to access the items of the dictionary, but we are using two variables here for key as well as a value. One variable for denoting the key, other variable for value. But you see, you are not using only the dictionary name here. You are using the items of the dictionary. How to access the items of the dictionary? My D is the name of the dictionary, and there is a method called items. So using this method, we are able to access the items. Already we have executed this in the previous session. So if you just create a dictionary and execute this method, you are able to see all the key value pair as a list of items. So now using this list, we are able to access every key as well as every value. See the print statement here, you can come to know the difference. You are printing the key here as well as you are printing the value also. Whereas this print statement is different from the previous one. In the previous method, you are accessing the dictionary key by key and you are printing its value also. Whereas in the second method, we are accessing the key as well as a value from the list of items of dictionary. Here you are reading it from dictionary, but here you are reading it from list of items of dictionary. So there are two methods to iterate among the key value pairs of the dictionary. This output also I will show you. For that, I have another program that also I will make it comment now. Are you able to see the output now?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the output. You see the difference between the first output and the second output? Second output, you are accessing both key value pair. Of course, I have given the end at the print statement. That is why it is printing every key value pair in a single line, right? So you are accessing it as a list of key value pairs now. These are the two ways which helps you to iterate among the dictionary key value pairs. Yeah, now the major advantage of the dictionary is we can use it as a counter. Dictionary can be used at its best as a counter. So further programs are going to teach that only. So now we are going to see the program. This is a program finding the count of unique names. Right, so we have a list of names here. Some names I have given, some random names I have given, but you can see the repetition of some names. CSEC is repeated here. CSCW is also repeated one more. CSEE is one name and CSEG is another name. So we have 4 unique names. Now using the dictionary, we are going to count only the unique names. Okay, now let us go through the code. So this is a list of names, the very first line. What is this line? We have created an empty dictionary. D is an empty dictionary. Right. Now, what is this loop? This loop is for the list. For every element in the list. For every element in the list, it means CSCC, at the next time it is CSCW, CSCC again. Likewise, for every element in the list, what is the next condition we have written? If the same element is not in the dictionary, if the same element is not in the dictionary, what we are going to do? Value of that key, we are going to set it as 1. See, please remember this. What is D of element? Element is the key and its value is being set to 1. That is the meaning, right? Else part. What do you mean by the else part? If the element is in the dictionary. If the element is in the dictionary, what we have to do? You have to increment the value of that particular key by 1. So finally, we are going to print the dictionary. See, this loop is very important. If you have understood this concept, all the programs, whatever we are going to see further, is very easy. Now I allow you to ask the doubts. And by the way, we see the output also.
Explain once again, ma'am.
I'll do that. I think in the first line, I don't think there is, it is a list of names, right? And in the second line, we have created a empty dictionary. There's no doubt in that. Looking to the third line, what the third line does, it refers to the every element in the list, right? First element, this is the second element, third element, likewise it goes on. Then we have written a if condition here, and if is there, else is there. Element is not in the dictionary. Actually, dictionary is empty only, right? So if the element is not in the dictionary, what is the meaning of this statement? That element is the key and the corresponding value you are setting it to 1. Are you understanding this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Let me further decode it. The first element here, CSEC. CSEC, as of now, it is not there in the dictionary. Am I right? Now, what you are doing, D of CSEC is equal to 1. That you are writing in the dictionary. CSEC is the key. 1 becomes a value of the key. Are you understanding now?
Yes, ma'am.
Else. What is the meaning of else? If the element already exists in the dictionary, if the element already exists in the dictionary, C6 is already written in the dictionary now. Now, when you are reading the same C6 for the second time, it is already there in the dictionary. Time what you are trying to do, you are incrementing the value by 1. So it is counting unique name only. Can we see the output now? Once you see the output, it will become 1. Just a minute, students. I have to, the previous program, I have to make it comment. Now I'm sharing the output. Can you see the output now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, what do you understand from the output now? The empty dictionary element in the list is written into the dictionary. Correspondingly, its value is also updated. Initially, when the name was written for the first time, its value was updated as 1. When the same name was encountered by the program, its value alone is incremented by 2. Understanding this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Shall we
ma'am.
move on to the program now again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
220 or Akara.
Ice cream bro.
Hope you have understood the program now. Now, the same program we have achieved using. Method, I hope you all remember. Can anyone tell me what is the get method? What is the purpose of the get method?
If the given
Ma'am, if
the
any value is not there,
then
then it will
the
not
none.
put the default.
Yeah. No, but if already key is there, it will return its value.
Value.
If it is not there, none will be assigned.
If it is not there, it will give a default value. Whatever the
It will
default
not
value.
show any error, that's all.
Yeah, in order to avoid the key error, we go for the get method. Right? So get method, basically, what is the argument it takes? Key value it takes as an argument. Right? Or if for the key already existing, it returns its value. If there is no key, it returns a default value, whatever you are using in the program. So the same program, the same objective, we are going to achieve using the get method. I will show the program now. It's very simple. See here, finding the count of unique names, the same program, but we are using the get method here. First line, I don't need to explain you. It is the same list of names. Second line, we have created an empty dictionary. The third line, what it does, for every element in the list, we have written here only one line to do the same job. Whereas in the previous program, we have written an if condition, isn't it? Can you compare that? Here, after reading every element in the list, we have written these 4 lines. If element in the dictionary, what has to happen? The element is not in the dictionary, what has to happen? Like we have written the conditions. But here it is not so. All those 4 lines is replaced by single line. Can I know who is making noise? See, trusting you people, I have unmuted all. Please behave professionally. Please mute yourself and then you talk. In someone's house, TV is being played, but you people have not muted. Please, students, behave yourself. Still, you people didn't mind to do that? If you mute yourself, it won't disturb others. It is not only disturbing me, it is disturbing everyone. Are you able to see the idol? Is everyone able to see the idol?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm not able to see it. That's what I'm asking. Give me some 2 minutes time. I'm not able to see the screen now. Yeah, now I'm getting. Yes. Okay. see this line. Now we just try to decode this line. First you see what is there on the right hand side of equal to. D is the dictionary. On the dictionary only we are able to invoke the method. We have invoked the get method. ELE is nothing but a key of the dictionary. So every element in the list will become the key. By default, you are giving its value to 0. By default, you are giving its value to 0. Whenever it is getting added to the dictionary, value will be incremented by 1. If the key is already there in the dictionary, it will return the default value 0. If the key is not there, the value will be incremented by 1. Right? The output remains the same for this also. I'll just execute this and show. The output is the same here also. The if condition is replaced by a single get method. Already we have well discussed about the get method. Right? Next program. The similar logic we can apply for all the other concepts. You see the next program, finding the count of unique characters in a string. So I have given a string here. Simply some A, B, C, A, B, A, something I have given. In the next line, as usual, we have created an empty dictionary using the function now. Simply, you can open and close the curly braces to create a dictionary, or you can use the dict method also. That and all we have already seen. Next, I'm converting the string into a list. I'm trying to print what is LIS. So what will happen? This entire string will be converted into a list. So for every element in the list, I'm applying the get method. I don't need to explain this get method once again, right? So what the get method does, for every element, if it is already existing, it will assume the default value as 0, or else it will be incremented by 1. Once the element is there, its value will be incremented by 1. Now let us see the output of this. I think you are able to see the output screen now. So the string is first converted into list of characters. A, B, C, everything. Separately, it is converted into a list of characters. And for every character, the count has happened. A is present thrice. That is why its count is available as 3. B is present twice in the string. So the count of B is 2. C is present twice. E is present once. Likewise, we are able to use a dictionary as an effective counter. I hope you all have understood this. Okay. Now instead of this get, I want to just replace with the simple if statement. How can I do that? Anyone tell me the code? If what is I? I is nothing but a character in a string, isn't it? If that particular I Not in dictionary. What is the name of the dictionary? It is D.
D.
If it is not in dictionary, what we have to do? Include that item into the dictionary and assign its key value as
1.
yes.
T of 5.
Already there. We are supposed to do
T of 5
Equal
Equal to
T of 5
T of
plus
5
plus
is equal
1.
to
T of 5 plus 1.
T of 5 plus 1. So this code also should give the same result, right? So let us check it out now. Able to see the output screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are getting the same output, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now let's move on to the next program.
ప్రజలు స్కిన్ తినాల ప్రజలు అన్ని తింటియా
Yes, this is the next function. We are going to count the unique words using the get method from a file. So already I have created a file. Before that, I just make the previous program commented. So this is a program we are going to see now. Same logic, only with the different applications. So we are going to use a count of the unique words which is present in the file. So we have created an empty dictionary and already I have a file, text file with some content, with some paragraph in that. I'm going to open the file. The default open mode of the file is read mode. I hope you all are aware of that, right? If you don't mention the mode of the file, the default mode is read mode, right? So you can read the contents of the file using this function fh.read, but now I have commented it. I'm going to execute that statement. So what is the next line? For every line in that particular file, for every line in that particular file, what you are going to do, you are going to split the line into words. If I apply this split method on this line, what it will return? It will return a list of words. That list of words is available here. So words contain the list of words of every line. So now let us print and see the output, intermediate, okay? Then for every word in words, words is nothing but the list of words. So for every word in words, as usual, we are applying the get method. I don't want to explain this once again. You know the single line, what it does. It does the count of every unique word, isn't it? So that is what it is doing. Let me repeat once again. The first line is an empty dictionary. In the second line, we are opening the text file. The text file contains some paragraph, which is going to perform the count of the unique words. This line is nothing but a loop, which is reading the contents of the file line by line. And every line you are splitting into list of words. Every line you are splitting into list of words that is available in the name words. Then for every word in words, you are going to perform the count. And finally, you are printing the dictionary. Now let us see the output of this. Before that, I want to show you the text file also. This is the text file. Everybody is able to see the text file?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So I think I have to share.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Just a minute.
అన్ని
Can you see now?
ಹೇಳದ
This is the text file we have. I will show some differences also in the text file. See here, there is a word expect in the first line, right? The same line I have repeated here, but with an exclamatory mark.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು
So performance, there is a word here.
ಕಾಲೇಜ್
The same performance
ಎಲ್ಲ
is
ಕಾಲೇಜ್
ending with the
ಎಲ್ಲ
question
ಕಾಲೇಜ್
mark
ಯೂಸ್
here.
ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
Those words and all you please observe. And here, in line, at least n
But
lines, there is a statement.
ಜಿಗಿ
But
ನೋಟ್ಸ್
here n is a
ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
lowercase, whereas the same
PTU ಎಲ್ಲ
n is
ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರು.
uppercase here.
ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು.
Okay? Right.
20 lakhs ಮಾರಿದ್ದು.
Now I'll show the output of this. First we will execute. Can you be able to see the output screen here? Just a minute, I'll show the output and I'll execute one more time. Yeah. Can you see the output here? Right. See, can you see the list of words? Every line in the file is converted into a list of words first. So many lists are created, and from here only the dictionary begins. Can you see that from where the curly braces begins? That is the beginning of the dictionary. From here, the dictionary begins. Sorry, from here the dictionary begins. I is present twice. Expect is present 1. The word is present 9 times in that particular file. The word performance is present twice. 2 is present 5 times. B is present 5 times. Likewise, it goes on. But can you see one difference here? The word expect here and the word expect with an exclamatory mark is treated as 2 different words. Similarly, the word performance and the word performance with the question mark is also treated as 2 different words by the program. I hope you would have observed this difference. Okay, let us get back to the program again. So have you observed the difference in the output?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how did you solve that end of line error?
Which one?
I mean, the error that you got in the comment line.
No, that was the error which was incorporated by me. I have put an extra apostrophe here. That's why it was showing the error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, because if nothing is there also, if there are some spaces or something, that end of line error will come.
No, it won't come. It's Lekha, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No, Lekha.
Okay, ma'am.
I think you all have understood this program, right?
Understood.
Yes, right? Now we are getting into the advanced text parsing. Before getting into the advanced text parsing, I'll tell you what is the meaning of advanced text parsing. The difference is whatever we have seen here. I want expect without exclamatory mark or with exclamatory mark to be treated as a. See, some students have not muted themselves and they are flexing also. This is the time to flex, to boast yourself. Someone is speaking 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs and all. If you are earning so much, why did you join engineering? Please behave yourself, students. Mute yourself. Someone is attending the session and doing the business, and you want to show that you are doing some business to others also. Okay, now I'll tell you what is the need of advanced text parsing. The need of advanced text parsing is some words with the exclamatory marks are treated differently by the program. That should not happen. And some words are in lowercase and some words, the same words are in uppercase also. In that case also, the program treats those words as two different words. That also should not happen. In order to avoid those things, now we are going to learn a method called make trans as well as a translate method. Now I'll teach you the method with a simple example. Then we can, I will explain the same thing with the program a little later. So first I will comment the program so that the output screen will be very clear only with what we are doing. Everybody is able to see the output screen now? Please answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take a string. Some string I'm going to assume. Weeks after weeks. I'm not giving any space, just it is a simple example. From the simple example, we are going to understand the program little later. So this is the string. On this string, I'm going to apply a method called make trans. I will show you that method is supported by the string method. Make trans is there. If I apply this method will build a table. So I want to display you the table also. So this method is returning a table that we will catch it in a variable. Let the name of the variable is tab. Now I'm going to apply the make trans method. This make trans method, it takes at most 3 arguments. The first argument is from string. The second argument is to string. Right? What the from string does, whatever the string appears in the str, that will be replaced by to string. Okay, now let me do like this. For example, EE is there. Okay, I'll take WE. WE. Then I'll replace it by some word. What I can, something I'll replace like this. Don't expect any meaning in the word later, please. Then, okay, yeah. Remove, yes. Okay, now I'll tell the meaning of this statement. Wherever WE appears, it will be replaced by S and O respectively. That is the meaning of the first and the second argument. What is the meaning of the third argument? Wherever S appears, that will be removed from the given string. Let me repeat again. First argument and the second argument. Whatever appears in the first argument is replaced by the second argument. And the purpose of the third argument string must be removed from the given input. Okay, now I'll display the table. Table appears like a dictionary, but it is containing some numbers, right? This 119 is nothing but a ASCII value of W. This 119, wherever it appears, it must be replaced by 115. This 115 is the ASCII value for yes. The ASCII value for E is 101. So wherever E appears, that must be replaced by O. So the ASCII value for O is 111. Again, the ASCII value for S is 115. Wherever S appears in the input, that must be replaced by none. It means it must be removed from the input string. This is the meaning of the table. So till now, whatever we have done, we have taken a string, On that string, we have applied a method called makeTrans. We know that this method returns a table and we have displayed that table, right? Now we are going to apply the translate method on this. str dot translate. tr, it is appearing here, you can see that. And this method, what is the argument it takes? It takes this table as the argument, tab. If I give this, see the output. See, don't try to find the meaning of the string, just understand that W is replaced by yes, and wherever E is there, all those are replaced by O. And whenever S appeared in the string, that is being removed from the input. Have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
There is no doubt, right, in this? Yeah.
The changed WE is changed to SO, right?
Yes.
S
Whenever
is not
W
going
appears, it is replaced by yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Wherever
That
E appears, it is replaced by O.
the changed S will not gonna be removed, no, ma'am.
No. That won't be removed.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. Now we get into the program now. Yeah, see the program. Yes, this is a program. So yeah, I don't need to explain you the purpose of why we are importing string, because we are using two methods. One is makeTrans, another one is translate. We have created an empty dictionary and we have opened the same old text file, whatever I have displayed. And for every line, first of all, we are removing the spaces, whatever is at the end of the line. Right? After that, you see, first on every line, we are applying the makeTrans function. And we know that this makeTrans function completely builds a table, and that table is being sent as an argument to the translate method. So what are we doing here? What the makeTrans function does, whenever it sees a space, nothing doing. The same space is replaced by the space, right? But what we are asked to remove from the file, wherever the punctuation symbol appears, we are asking it to be deleted from the file. So this is the makeTrans table is building. Wherever empty space appear, nothing to do with the empty space, and all the punctuation marks are to be removed. So a table is built by this makeTrans function that is being sent as argument by the translate, right? So for every line, again, later you are converting that line into lowercase, because I want capital N and the small n to be treated as the same string. I don't want my program to treat these two words as two different words. So that is why we are converting. After removing all the punctuation marks from every line, we are converting every line into lower. Then as usual, the same thing what we have seen in the previous program. We are splitting the line into a list of words, and for every word, either you can replace this 4 lines by the get method, or you can use this method also. If the word is not there in the dictionary, you are including that word in the dictionary and setting its value as 1. Or if the word already exists in the dictionary, you are incrementing its value by 1. Now we will see the output for this program. I will share this. Are you able to see the output?